All right, welcome. So this is the Communication Man, and what are we talking about today? We are talking about what does clutter say about you personally? What do you think it means? So my question for you is, what exactly is clutter? So you might be thinking, what does this have to do with communication? Okay, so I'm actually creating a whole new playlist. Okay, it's going to be under what does our external environment communicate about us? So think about that. Everything that's external, okay, your clothing is an external object, but it says something about you, right? So if you have a shirt that is not ironed, right, it says you don't really care about your appearance very much, right? If your hair is not cut, right, probably low self-esteem or, lack of money or something, right? If your hair is neatly trimmed and your appearance looks good, your clothing matches the color, that's gonna say something about you, right? So that's not this video is about, okay? But my point is, there's external factors which communicate who we are to people. So clutter, okay, it does say something about you as a person, okay? And the good thing is we can also do the opposite, which is organize and clean, and say something else about us, all right? So what exactly is clutter? What do you think it is? So clutter, all right, is to overfill and litter in a tumultuous manner, all right? Ooh, tumultuous. So think about this. I call it the 3 C's. So clutter is 3 C's, okay? To live in clutter is to live in chaos, clumsiness, and confusion, all right? Who wants to live in chaos, clumsiness, and confusion? I know I don't, and I know others don't either, okay? So just to think about this, though, to answer kind of the idea in the video, what does clutter say about us, right? What does it say about you as a person? Well, too much clutter shows to other people that we can't make decisions, okay? And I'm going to go over that in this video, and you'll understand what I mean by that, okay? But we can't make decisions to, quote-unquote, use something, to throw it out, to organize it, to place it where it should go, to give it a place, and also decisions not to bring it in your house in the first place, as we're going to talk about the filtration system, okay? So clutter shows people that you don't know how to adult, okay? So you're an adult body, but you're still living like a kid, hasn't cleaned his room or cleaned her room, right? So clutter reveals a poor person's mindset, okay? When someone hoards, it's an idea that maybe I'll use it one day, someday. It's like someone has 3 different irons. Why do you need 3 different irons? 4 different ironing boards, like 1,700 pairs of shoes, and they only wear like 6 of them, maybe 10 the most. And it's like the idea that one day I might need it, so just in case, I don't want to spend money, right? But realistically, you're not going to use it, okay? And a lot of times the ones you have, they're not even that great of quality anyway. But clutter reveals a poor person's mindset, and that's not a good thing. A wealthy person understands I can get something when I need it, right? So you may not be able to get everything when you need it, but in reality, most of the things that you need, you can get, okay? So clutter shows that you have clouded ambition. And how can clutter show that you have clouded ambition? Well, remember, if you're living in chaos, you have clumsiness, and you're in confusion, that's going to affect your internal state. Okay, it's gonna, whether or not people believe that, I think it does. Okay, because I know when I've cleaned up desk space and I've cleaned up somewhere and I've decluttered, I feel a lot better internally. All right, and when I don't, I feel like it's screaming at me, all this stuff, right? So there's a few other things. Clutter says that whatever you have, it's not enough, right? Like you're always kind of like need more, right? It's a weird addiction, right? When in reality, you can have less and be satisfied with that amount if it's if it's actually appropriate for what you need. Okay, so clutter also says you don't respect yourself, right? It tells other people you don't respect your own living arrangement. And if it's in your car, have you ever been in someone's car where you can't even find the floor? There's like McDonald's wrappers, and there's like tissues, and there's just like junk everywhere, and you're like, what? How does this person sit in this car, right? Crumbs everywhere. It says you don't respect yourself. I mean, let's just keep it what it is. You don't respect yourself, okay? And it also says you're scared to confront your own reality, okay? So when you have clutter everywhere, that's usually unresolved issues, okay? Because it's like you have a lot of stuff that you're like choosing not to deal with, okay? So that carries over into your other parts of life. All right, so what is litter? All right, because I talked about that in the previous slide. Litter, okay, the definition: rubbish carelessly dropped and left about. All right, does that sound familiar? Stuff that's just thrown around. You get home, you kick something off, you put some junk mail on the counter, and I'll get to it later, and you never do. It just piles up, and one day I'm going to read that magazine, and you got 600 magazines in your storage unit, and you're not going to read them. They're like 3 years old, they're like gross and dirty and damp, and by the time you read it, no one cares anymore. The entertainment magazine's not even relevant, right? All right, so what is chaos? Chaos. Ugh. Chaos is a state of extreme confusion and disorder. All right, so chaos is a mental condition characterized by a lack of clear, orderly thought and behavior. Okay, so if you're living in a state of no order, okay, your thoughts and everything, your behavior, it's going to be erratic. You're going to feel out of control because you are somewhat out of control. All right, so for the third C, clumsiness. Okay, clumsiness. What is clumsiness? Clumsiness is unskillfulness resulting from a lack of training. Now, I put that one first because I want people to understand. A lot of times clutter is a result of someone who doesn't know how to make choices, they don't know how to filter, and they don't know how to organize. Okay, so we're going to teach you how to do that. It's real simple. And remember, the easier it is, the easier it will be to do. Okay, so don't beat yourself up too much if you have a lot of clutter and it's always been a problem for you, because it's a skill, and unfortunately in school we're not really taught a lot of life skills. We're taught a lot of basic weird stuff, like algorithms and stuff you use, pre-calculus, but you don't usually use it unless you're like an engineer or something. And most people who graduate don't go on to be, engineers. You might have like a small portion who do, and that's wonderful, but most people could use like a class on how to organize your environment, your workspace, how to make choices, how to declutter your life. That would probably help more people than like some pre-calculus homework that they're going to forget in 10 minutes. So the important thing is it's a skill and you can learn it. Okay, but when you're clumsy, right, when you learn how to play the piano, you're awkward at first, it's annoying, it's frustrating. Well, learning how to tidy is going to feel like that at first. Okay, but once you get good at it, it won't be awkward anymore because you'll have trained yourself how to do it. All right, so clumsiness is also unsophisticated actions lacking in refinement, grace, and good taste. Okay, so it's true, right? When you see a beautiful home in the movies and it's organized and it looks really cool, it's always sleek. You ever notice that? It's always sleek, right? Really beautiful cars. You like them because they're simple. They're not like over the top. They're usually over the top in a simple, sleek, elegant way, right? So when you're unsophisticated, it's like you have a million different paintings in your home and they're not really hung up, and you got like all this stuff around that you're not walking around gracefully. You're like, boom, don't bump into that. Don't sit on that. Oh, there's newspapers all over the chair. You can't sit down. Oh, you want to eat in the table? Oh, we can't. There's like stuff everywhere, right? Like food and stuff that, you're not even using that's expired, right? You don't have grace, right? And there's no good taste, right? When you walk into a home that's super cluttered and a car that's cluttered, it's not good taste. It's like feels like tacky and tasteless, right? Feels cheap and weird and like cumbersome just to like even be in there. It's stressful. Right. So actually clumsiness was the second C, my bad. Confusion, that's the third C. Okay, so what are the three C's? We have chaos, clumsiness, and confusion. All right, so chaos number 1, clumsiness number 2, confusion number 3, and this one is it's a really interesting one, so we have 4 points on this. Okay, so confusion is disorder resulting from a failure to categorize predictably. Okay, so when someone has a clutter problem, they really have an order problem. Okay, they don't know how to categorize things, and they don't know how to place them in certain places, and also they don't have any system for when you bring something in, you have to take something out. Okay, so confusion is a feeling of embarrassment that leaves you confused. Okay, so haven't you ever had someone do like a surprise visit and your house is a mess, or your car, and you're really embarrassed? Like it's not really the idea image you would want to communicate to someone, because what it communicates to them is, like I said, you're not adulting, right? You're undisciplined, right? All these negative things that we don't really want to be associated with, right? And even if like you don't have any shame in that, it's still going to leave you confused and like in the sense that like you're trying to find something, and it's really frustrating, you know. So I mean, I got a quick story about that. When I was junior high, we used to have this really cool thing near our house, and it was like basically an indoor playground. I don't know if I was junior high, maybe probably younger, actually, more like 5th or 6th grade. But the point is, I was young enough where I still really liked playing, and like huge. It was like an indoor playground, but it was like colossal. It was insane. It was like, I don't even know. It's like 4 football field lengths of like slides and like all these interactive things. And I remember I really wanted to go, and our neighbor was waiting on us. And our neighbor had like a really beautiful house. One of the neighbors was like the husband was a doctor, psychiatrist. So they had a really nice, beautiful, luxurious home, clean, organized. And our house is a nice home, but it was super disorderly now. I love my mom, but it's just never been her thing. And this video isn't for people who don't want to change. Some people they'll never change, and that's okay. Don't worry. Don't waste your time trying to change people you can't change. But for people who do want to change, who do like, living in order and having like that clean mind, clean space, that's who this video is for. But the point is, we had the tickets to go to this event, and my mom, we couldn't find them, and they were who knows where. And I remember it was super embarrassing. My neighbor came over, her daughter, and this kid that was really cool, that I thought was cool anyway at the time. And I was super embarrassed because he saw our house and it was just like super disarray, like clutter everywhere. And it was so embarrassing for me. And when you're younger, you're like even more insecure than normal. And I remember he's just like, man, we're never gonna find it with all this stuff. Like he whispered it to my neighbor, thinking I didn't hear, but I heard, of course. And I remember it was just like the disdain they had on their face, like just looking down at it. And my mom, I love her, but she just didn't have the common sense to like, I don't know, just organize better, I guess. And so it was just super awkward. We looked for like 45 minutes, an hour, and it's just so weird to have other people in your house trying to quote unquote help you look for something as simple as tickets. And we never found it, so we ended up having to pay again. So we paid twice to get in because we couldn't find the original tickets. And it was just such a crappy experience, and I just one of those things where it's like, I was like, when I get older, I don't want to do that. I want to live a better life than that, and don't want to embarrass my kids because of that. So anyway, I'm not perfect. I'm creating this video because I've just finished reading 3 books on minimalism, and I'm not a minimalist, but if anything, I'd call myself a practical minimalist, and in the sense that I don't like going to extremes any direction, and minimalist to me is just way too extreme. Just get rid of everything you possibly can, it seems like. I want to get rid of what I don't need and keep what I do need, but organize it in a practical way. So anyway, the point of that story is confusion, disorder, embarrassment, being confused. It's terrible to feel that way, and it's terrible if you're that person creating that negative environment, and it hurts other people as well. And also it costs you money and costs you time and stress and social embarrassment. All right, so confusion continued is no order, right? A lack of cleanliness in appearance and habits. All right, so habits is the key word there, because it's the habit that creates the good house or the dirty house or the poor house or the rich house. Like, it's the habits that forms whatever living arrangement we are in, okay? So a messy combination which clouds one's identity. So confusion is a messy combination which clouds one's identity, all right? It muddles it. It makes it unclear by losing their individual differentiation. Why am I putting this? This is really important. When you walk into someone's house, it doesn't matter if they have beautiful Van Gogh paintings and like, amazing artwork, if it's all scattered and buried underneath papers and mounds of old books and dusty briefcases and stuff that's never used, and it's just like the house is a mess. There's no personalization, right? It's all muddy. So you can't really enjoy who they are. What are they? Now, when you clean your house and the only picture on the wall is one, all your attention goes to it, and you go, wow, that says a lot about the person who lives here. They have good taste. They like it. It's beautiful. It's interesting. Maybe it's thought-provoking. And when it's clean, you can notice art. Okay, when things are too jumbled together, you can't enjoy it. It's like doesn't match, right? And so there's people who like to buy things because they're cute at the store, but they don't understand how it doesn't apply to their home. Okay, so every home is limited, all right? If it's a certain style of the home, the color of the paints, the color of the furniture, the structure of the furniture, the space, and every time you bring something in, if it doesn't match, it's not going to complement your personality. It's going to confuse it. And that's why we're talking about confusion. So you lose your individual differentiation. You lose it a lot. The more clutter you have, the less it is for your personal identity to be expressed. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we're all trying to express ourselves. Okay, so don't express yourself in a really muddy, dirty, confused way. Do it in a clear way, confident way, and a beautiful way. All right, so clutter origin. I thought this was really interesting. What's the word clutter mean? Okay, so it was used early as the 1570s, okay, from the Latin word called klottern. Klottern! Meaning things that lay in heaps of crowded confusion. All right, so think about that. Anything that lies in heaps of crowded confusion doesn't sound like a beautiful way to live your life, does it? All right, so it continued, clutter origin, okay? To crowd together in pandemonium. So sometimes they would say the people are cluttering outside the castle. They're crowding together in pandemonium. It's like nervous energy. It's friction. It's anxiety. It's not healthy, right? That's not how you want to live your life. You don't want to come home to a house that is cluttered, crowded together in pandemonium. It's going to make you feel crazy. Even if it's not spoken, you will feel the stress. And trust me, I know from experience. So clutter, likely influenced by a word cluster, okay? And in that time frame, the early 1500s, or actually late 1500s, to strew garbage around, to litter, to crowd a room by an undisciplined and unruly mass of things. It's like, a big barn full of junk. So what happens when you clutter? All right, so all these negative attachments fasten to you, okay, internally and externally, okay, so all the negative connotations people associate with you, right? Disheveled, unorganized, not clean, dirty, all these things get attached to you, whether or not you like it. Also, internally, it messes with you, okay? Clutter messes with you. Every time you walk by something that's like a jar, hasn't been fixed, it tells you, hey, clean me, hey, pick me up, hey, throw me away, hey, dust me, hey, use me. And it's like this stress all the time, stressing you, and you don't even realize it, but it's there. All right, so clutter is like a mental disease. It's a gross, yucky, dirty, nasty mental disease, okay? We want to associate negative things with clutter, okay? Because if you associate positive things with it, you might be like a pig happy in its poop, all right? But you don't want to be in a poop and mud, dirty house lifestyle, okay? You want to be clean, all right? Organized. So clutter eats away at you day and night like a virus, okay? It's like a skin disease. Think about like a skin-eating tick or something, just like eating away at your brain, some amoeba or something, right? Something disgusting, all right? Clutter eats at you, okay? So clutter leads to emotional and behavioral problems. And why? Why do you think that is? You're going to find out. So think about clutter. If you live in disarray, you will live frantically. Okay, you will. Okay, because you're disorganized. It's going to screw you up. So anxious energy leads to nervous thoughts and actions. All right. Do you like being around people who are nervous all the time? They're always fidgeting, shaking their hands. I don't know. That's anxious energy. All right, and it's not cool. It's not confident, and it's annoying to be around. And the last thing it does is bring peace. Okay, it brings a lot of strife, but not peace. Okay. So being anxious leads to trouble and fretfulness. Okay, so think about that. Where are my car keys? Where's the important receipt? Where's the warranty? Where's the document? Oh no! Did you sign the thing? I don't know. I can't find the thing. Where is the thing? Hey, where's the medicine? I somewhere. Is it expired? Oh, it's old. Oh man, this is from like 3 years ago. I bought some somewhere. I think it's under the cabinet. And then you open the drawer and there's like toilet paper and all this junk falls out. 6 years ago, old stuff, And you're in a rush, I can't find my brush. Oh wait, hold on. I hope I'm not late. Where's the toothpaste? Oh, I just ran out. I knew I got a new bottle somewhere. I put it under the sink, and then you can't find it, and you forgot you left it downstairs near the cabinet. But by the time you find it, it's like 15 minutes later, right? Oh, I can't find my shoes, my purse, my wallet, my tie, tickets, glasses. Where are my glasses? I can't see, etc. All right. So the point is, that stress will mess you up, okay? It's going to make you late for appointments, and it's going to bother you. Why live like that when you can live in such a better state? All right, so what is fretfulness? This is really interesting. Fretfulness, it's when we are easily irritated and annoyed. And trust me, come on, we've all been there. So you ever been, fretful? Come on. So it's when we are quickly aroused to impatience and anger. Someone who gets ticked off too fast, right? Unintelligently, right? And so think about that. If your irritation is bothering you, right, it's going to mess with you. So let's say you're 15 minutes late because you can't find your stuff and you finally found your work uniform or your hat or your briefcase or your document or the kids' shoes that were underneath the dryer because you didn't put them away last night and forgot that they got kicked under or something. Well, you're going to have irritation. So you get in the car, you're running, oh no, I'm late. Well, it's not other people's problem that you are irresponsible, right? And you're not organized and you didn't leave early and that you're late, right? But then you're the one with irritation, you're fretful, right? Why is he driving so damn slow? Darn slow, honk, honk, get out of my way, and don't you hate when people drive like that around you? Doesn't it bother you? It's so annoying, right? And that can totally screw up your whole day. If someone flicks you off or you flick them off or you don't, you do that kind of Christian cuss word and you kind of shake your hand at them, but inside you're really thinking something worse and you're angry and it's just eats you away, and by the time you get to work you're sweating and you're mad and you're like, oh, I'm late, my boss is gonna get mad at me, or you barely make it but you're just you're about to blow a fuse. Is that really a healthy way to start a job interview of life or your day, or going to church or going to school or going to work, right? No. Or even meeting a friend or going to a party. It's just not good, right? You don't want to live like that, okay? And that's what clutter does. It brings in that nasty evil witch energy, all right? And when I say evil witch, I mean the yucky spell kind in the movies where they kind of make your life horrible and everything you do just seems to kind of backfire. That's how it is when you live in a clutter world, okay? So what's the solution? All right, we've talked about the problem. Now what's the solution? So give everything you own a home. Okay, so everything needs to have a home. Okay, so I recently did this. I had a bunch of batteries that are all kind of spread it out random places. So I organized them all. Okay, all the AA batteries in this little compartment, and this little tin box. I put all the AAA batteries in, and everything now when I get it, I open it, I put them in their home. All right, so they all have a package now, quote unquote package. And I have a middle drawer that's for my cell phone, my technology stuff, and then I got a top drawer that's just for my pens and basic stuff glasses cleaner, and then I got my bottom drawer for other things. But the thing is, you pick your home for something and then you never let something else in that home, okay? And it needs to live in its home, all right? And also, you want to get rid of everything you don't need. Okay, so logical and practical arrangements of things according to their usefulness. So this is important. What I mean by this is when you walk in the door, okay, make sure that's where the organizer is for the shoes, okay, wherever you want them to be. Don't put them on the top floor and you're going to forget to bring them up. You're just going to kick them off near the door and you can have a mountain of shoes. That might sound obvious, but it's not. Okay, there's a lot of people who aren't thinking, okay? They want it to look pretty, but it's not practical for organization. So if you have, say, a bunch of toothpastes or something from Costco, you got a pack of 10 of each, well, don't put them downstairs unless there's a really good reason for it, some home that you have a storage unit, a storage closet or something. But more realistically, just put them underneath the sink in an easy to find spot and keep it always in the same place. So whenever you buy it, that's its home. Same thing. So basically the point is lump stuff together, okay? So a lot of people, might think that's obvious, but it's not, okay? Because a lot of times you'll just have random stuff all over the house. And you want to give everything a home, and then you want that home to be organized and where you would need it, okay? So if you're downstairs, make sure the cereal is next to the bowls, all right? Make sure that, make sure it's all logical. And that doesn't have to be exactly like that, but the point is, make it make sense, okay? Make it where it's where you use the stuff, where you open the fridge and you're, okay, I need this, I need that, I need this. Make it, clump it together where it's used, okay? Not where it looks pretty or you think it's out of sight, out of mind. Make it where it's practical. That's what I meant by practical minimalism. All right, so also, what's the solution? A daily unwavering returning to the home arrangement and filtering. Okay, so what that means is first, give everything a home. Start in small little sections because don't get like overwhelmed, but like eventually organize your spaces, right? Give everything a home, and you can even have fun with this. Go get like a label maker if you like that kind of stuff and label stuff. But give everything a home, and then every day you make sure you return everything back to its home, okay? And that's how you just stay on top of it and it never gets out of control, okay? And you want to do something called filtering, and we're going to talk about that. So what is filtering? All right, so filtering is removing things before is the key word here, before buying or receiving them. Like, if someone gives it to you as a gift, you don't have to take it. You can give it away. So what is filtering? Filtering is when you're in the store, you don't buy something just because it's a good price. You don't buy something just because it's nice. If you buy a towel, think, hold on, where's that new home going to be? Think first in, first out. So if, okay, this is coming in, it needs to replace an old towel, okay? You want everything on a cycle, on a rotation, okay? So you don't want to have 300 pairs of shirts, okay, and 600 pants. You want to get rid of the old ones. So the oldest one's out and the newest one's in, right? Kind of like how a lot of restaurants do food, right? So we want to do that when we're buying anything, okay? Wait, hold on. Do I really need eggs? Did I use up the last time? And don't buy food. This is a tip too. Don't buy food unless you have a plan to make it like on that Tuesday or Wednesday, because a lot of people just buy food randomly thinking, well, maybe I'll use it, and they just waste a lot of it, and their fridge just gets piled up with nasty, dirty, expired, gross food. So first decide where the object's home is going to be. Okay, so that's some important thing. So before you, like I said, before you buy it or you get it, where is it going to go in your mind? So what that means is, say you're at the store and you're like, this pot looks really cool. I like this design. It looks new. It's fancy. Think, wait, hold on. Where's the new home going to be in my house when I buy this? Okay, is it going to be in the kitchen? Do I have a spot for it? And if I don't have a spot, then think, what pot will it replace, right? And if it's just an added, make sure there's going to be room for it, okay? Because the goal is you want anything that comes in, something has to go out. You always want to equal trade, okay? You don't want a house full of stuff, because the more you put into it, then it becomes a storage container and it's not a house anymore. So, like I said, will it replace a current object in the home? Make sure that that's the habit, okay? So before you pick up anything, before you take it in, wait, what is this going to replace? And where's it going to go? All right, so what is it going to replace and where's it going to go? Ask yourself those questions, because you need to filter everything before it comes in your home. So less things equals less cleaning, all right? So that's good news. The less you have, the less you got to worry about, okay? So the more things with quote-unquote homes, the more dusting and space they take up. So even if you've given everything a home, okay, the more you have of it, the more you got to deal with it. You got to move it out of the way when you vacuum. You got to separate. You got to wonder, am I going to use this? When am I going to use this? And the less you have, the less you got to worry about. The more space you have in your house, okay? It opens up your room. So less is more, all right? Less things equals more room to live, all right? So what's the point of buying a house if you can't live in it? Haven't you ever been to someone's house or your own house and people can't come over because there's no space for people, So more things equals more stress, and that's terrible. We don't want stress. Stress sucks. Stress drains you, right? Less stress is best, all right? So memorize that. Less stress is best. So it's easier to find what you need when you have less stuff, and it all has a home, and it's easy. It's organized, all right? So less stress is best, y'all. So start in small sections, okay? Don't get overwhelmed and go, oh my goodness, my house is crazy. I could never do that. Start first with something really easy like your car, okay? Do the front row, then the back row, then the trunk. Okay, move on from there. Great, now it's nice. Do the glove department, right? Make sure it clean. Get rid of all the junk. Keep just what you need, the insurance, the registration, basic things, right? Then in your house, start small. If you got a big desk and it's a mess, just start from left to right. Start with one drawer. Then do like the top, and then the second drawer, the third drawer, and slowly do it so you can see the progress, and you slowly start taking back your home, okay? So the home must be normal and practical, okay? So what I mean by that is normal and practical means you use your house, the house doesn't use you, okay? So you're in control, not the house controlling you. So start with unemotional items first when it comes to decluttering. Okay, so when you start in that section, just quickly go through the stuff that doesn't require any emotion. Like, okay, that's junk mail, this is old, this is a cord for a watch I don't own anymore, a cord for a computer I don't use anymore, I don't have anymore, I give it away. And the stuff that's just easy to give away, start with there, okay? And then the sentimental items, you can scan and take pictures of them if they're like, honorable awards or documents or something special. Take a picture of it, and you can always print it out later. Put it in a book, but most likely it's just good for a good memory. You don't need like everything. Even photos, you can digitally archive a lot of that and then even make really beautiful picture books or something. Or if you're going to scrap it, like a scrapbook, do that. But the important thing is most things you can scan, and including documents, important documents, you can scan them and then get rid of them. And then I always recommend backing them up to a cloud, so in case there's a fire or something in your house, you have a backup to it, and you can retrieve it and organize it online really simply too, so that it's easy to find like an insurance document or something you need in a quick 2-second little search on your phone, right? So books and music can be downloaded and borrowed from libraries. So I used to have like millions of books, and then I moved so much in the Air Force. I remember I had a storage unit all the time, and I remember just had so much junk, and moving all the time, it's really hard. And I had all these books, excuse me, and I kept thinking, you know what? After like 5 or 6, 7 moves, I was like, I don't need all this stuff. This is getting crazy. And I was gone for like a year or two, and then I'd come back from training for like 6 months, and I didn't use 99% of that stuff. So what I realized is I don't really need everything I think I need. So that's a good realization to have too. Most of the stuff you want, you can find it free, or you can go get it if it's information or something elsewhere. So just keep that in mind when you're decluttering. All right, so decide fast, all right? So decide hastily. And what do I mean by that? You can always change your mind later, okay? But leaders always decide quickly. And people who don't decide fast are always worried they're going to make a wrong choice. Now, here's the thing. Decide fast, and you'll probably make the right choice. And here's the cool thing. If you don't make the right choice, you can fix it. All right, just fix it later. Oh, okay, that wasn't the right choice. All right, fix it. So, maybe you get rid of 100 things, and one thing you're like, man, I really wish I didn't get rid of that. Just go buy it again. Okay, most things aren't that expensive, and I'm sure if it's that expensive, you wouldn't get rid of it. So, and if you, a lot of times, like I noticed for me, I'd get rid of old clothes. Well, I would replace it with like newer clothes, because I'm like, man, I need it. And then I'd go buy something like way nicer, and I'm like, man, I'm happy I didn't get that old dusty one from like 4 years ago. Like this new one's so much better. So here's the thing. If you don't like your decisions, you can promptly fix them, okay? But leaders always decide quickly, all right? And that's what you want to be. You want to be a leader. You don't want to be a follower, passively just, getting through life, always scared and timid and hesitant. You want to make choices quickly, and don't worry. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt that you're probably going to make the right choice, because realistically, you probably will. So what does decide mean? All right, this is interesting. So decide comes from the Latin word decidere, something like that, to literally cut off. Okay, so from the Latin word de, which means off. Okay, joined with the word cadere, okay, which means to cut and to strike. Right, like a sword, you're cutting off something. Okay, so think about when you decide, right, de, off, and side, you're cutting it off. What you're doing is, think about the words homicide, regicide, pesticide. Those are all about killing something, right? So especially in decision making, essentially your decide means to cut off. You're going to kill all your options and choices, right? So what this does is it simplifies your life, and it also shows you're a leader. You're not scared to make choices, to do something, take action. So the important part about that is you want less choices. Less choices equals less mental stress. Isn't that weird? It's like ironic. You'd think more is better, but less is more. Okay, so the less choices you have to think about, you don't have to. It doesn't drain your brain. Okay, so when you have more things, your brain has to think more. Oh, I got to put that somewhere. I got to dust that. I got to use that. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to resort this. I got to bring this around. When you have less things, you don't have to worry about as much. You have way more open space. When you have all this stuff on your desk or your dresser or something, and your kitchen, you got all these little knickknacks, and you barely move your arm, and all this stuff falls over the place, and all these decorations, like these little fake flowers or whatever, just like falling over the place. It's like so annoying. You just feel like you're always kind of like living in a museum. Oh, careful, 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 careful. But when you got open space, you don't have to worry about hitting something. You don't have to dust it. You don't have to move it around. You don't have to stub your toe in it at night. It's just you got clean space. It feels good. Less choices equals less mental stress. So unclutter. Unclutter is ridding yourself, ridding your life of obstructions. Okay, so unclutter is ridding your life of obstructions. Okay, so any object, living arrangement that makes your life difficult is an obstruction. Okay, donate or quote-unquote rehome any object which obstructs you physically. Okay, so if something is getting in the way, move it to a place where it's not. Okay, and also get rid of stuff you don't need. Okay, a lot of us have stuff just piled up because we're scared to get rid of it. Make the choice, decide. And also, you don't want anything that slows you down. So anything that blocks or inhibits your ability to move through a passage with ease is bad. Get rid of that. I call this the no obstruction rule. Okay, so things should not obstruct your life. Okay, and if things are obstructing your life, that's a bad sign. Okay, it means you're not really in control. Now, rid yourself of obstructions and get rid of the stuff you don't need, because realistically, 99% of the stuff we don't even use. Okay, so unclutter is control over you. All right, communicates to other people that you're in charge. You're in charge. So people over things. Okay, how many times have you seen where people come in and they're not welcomed, but things are? Okay, things have a precedent to chairs, to tables, to everything, the floor, the ground, the coffee table, and people are like these third-rate citizens. Okay, things should never be your first-rate citizen. Okay, use things as intended. The chair's for sitting. Right? The chair's for sitting, not for stacking newspapers, right? So think of stores as your personal storage centers, okay? And when you think about it like that, you go, oh, okay. So if I need something, I go to my storage center, aka Target, Walmart, wherever you shop, okay? So organization, all right? It says you're in control, all right? It's a cool thing. It communicates to other people that you have discipline, all right? It communicates to people that you are a leader because you can decide, you can kill choices, you can kill distractions, and you can make choices fast and live with them, all right? And live well. And it also communicates to people you can basically delegate and not hide from your responsibilities, okay? So when you're making quick choices, you're taking action, you're being bold, you're being responsible. When you have stuff piling up everywhere and you're scared to make a choice, well, I don't know, it says you're irresponsible, right? And you don't want to communicate that to people. So clutter facts. Clutter facts. Did you know the average American receives 49,060 pieces of mail in a lifetime, and 1/3 of that is junk mail? Can you believe that? Think about this. The average person spends 1 year of their life looking for something they misplaced. Why waste a whole year of your life looking for something you misplaced when you can just organize, have everything have its place, have its home? Like I said, get your label maker out, have fun if you need to, and get a whole year of your life back, plus the stress and the worry and the frustration and the fretfulness of not being on time or always being agitated because you can't find something, right? Don't live like that. So here's the thing, another thing, clutter facts. 2 more. Over 25% of homeowners cannot fit a car in their 2-car garage due to clutter, and that's from the United States Department of Energy. So how pathetic is that? You have a 2-car garage and you'd like to use it, but you can't because you got so much stuff. The things are more important than the people. Do you understand? So after decluttering, people reduce their cleaning time by over 40%. Okay, so that's the Soap and Detergent Association. So they did some research, and think about that. If someone decluttered, they increased their time by 40%, all right? So they saved their life. They're giving themselves life back, okay? So that's what time is. It's energy and it's life. So you can save your cleaning time by 40% just by decluttering. It's like cool, right? Do it. So top benefits of being organized and orderly and decluttered. Being selective is sexy. It's attractive, right? It shows you don't let anything in your house. You have standards, right? Your home means something to you. It's attractive. It's nice. So think about this. We admire people with good taste, right? It saves you time and makes your home feel wonderful. Doesn't it feel nice to come home to a nice, clean, open space? That's why people a lot of times like hotels, because there's no crap everywhere. Like, it's a nice, clean, organized space. You know where stuff is. The coffee pot goes on the coffee table. You know, like everything has a spot, and it's designed that way. So when your house is organized and everything has a home, it helps you live your life easier. It feels amazing, and it puts you in control, puts you in the pilot seat, okay? You're not passively like drowning, being choked and submerged in your... All right, so that concludes that, guys. As always, if you want positive advice in 60 to 180 seconds, give or take, it's a Leadership Minute. Give me a call. I got a number where I have a cool little positive voicemail that I update about once a week, and the number is 530-686-5337. Again, that's area code 530-686-5337, and that's a California number. So just save that on your phone and you can give it a call, and if there's any ideas you want for the videos, you can comment and subscribe, and then in the comments just say, hey, I want more on this topic or this, or can you expand on this, and I can incorporate it into a video possibly. And you can leave a voicemail and say something positive or something that you'd like to, some question or something you'd like to learn more about. All right, so trivia time. So how much do Americans spend annually on non-essential goods? That is, items that they do not actually need. How much do you think Americans spend every year on things that they won't ever use, most likely? All right, well, you're going to find out in the next video. And the crazy thing is, it's an insane number. And think about how much money could be saved if you understand what's essential and you filter it and you don't buy it, or you buy it correctly. Think of all the money you could save just by knowing this. All right, so you're going to find that out in the next video.